Gang, I don't know if you saw what happened last week. Fargo was in a weird spot. Not just Fargo, but our local community. My wife is an elementary teacher at Eagles Elementary, kitty corner from Courts Plus, so down on South University, and it was that call that I got. I was on my way to do therapy. I just had my knee replaced, and so I was on my way to do therapy, and my wife calls me and she said, "Eric, I need you to get the kids." I'm like, "I'm just going to therapy. What's up?" And she said, "Elam is on fire." "What are you talking about? Elam is on fire." Elam is right next door to Eagles Elementary. And she's like, "Yeah, Elam's on fire. I don't know when I'm going to get out of here. And my vehicle is trapped in by fire trucks." And I'm just like, "Oh my gosh." So I look over in the distance about a mile away and I see the smoke in the air. And I'm like, holy cow. Elam is this awesome place in Fargo that takes care of seniors. It's an assisted living facility, and it has childcare as a part of it as well. My personal assistant, Jess, her son goes there. And so I knew that this was hitting close to home on a lot of different ways, personally, professionally. And so I did my therapy. I came out, and then, of course, I did the drive-by, right? Everybody, I think, does the drive-by. And I was that irresponsible person that should have stayed away, but I did the drive-by. I was concerned for my wife, concerned for her school, certainly concerned for all those people at Elam. And this was a big fire. This was a serious fire, and God bless the people at Eagles and the local emergency response people, disaster response folks, because they jumped on board and they took massive care. I loved seeing how this community responded. Jess, my assistant, made a Facebook post that next day. Early in the morning, she posted saying, "Elam, there's a few dozen kids that were involved there. The child care center didn't get a lot of the attention. The elderly did because there was more of them, and that's really what Elam was known for. But they do an awesome job of taking care of both kids and adults. And in this, we wanted to take care of the Elam Child Care Center. And so Jess made a post saying that they're looking for donations, toys. They found a new place. The Boys and Girls Club took them in. Such a great community thing for them to open up their doors and let this new group come in. So this awesome thing happened, but the ask was put out there, and the ask was via social media. And social media gets an interesting rap a lot. There's a lot of negativity around it. We're entering into political season, and political season feels gross because everybody's just mean and nasty. People are ostracizing and chipping and chopping and just tearing each other apart. It's really tough to watch. But wouldn't you know, in this moment and in this time, Jess made a Facebook post, and I copied it. I made it my own, and I just said, Elam is looking for financial donations. They're looking for people to drop things off tomorrow, and here's where you drop it off. And so people started commenting. I started getting all these private messages, and I started to then see that this was getting shared over and over again. And fast forward a couple days later, and it had been shared over 350 times on Facebook. WDAY and Inforum did a story on Elam and on me. It was so weird because I made a Facebook post. And by the time a couple of hours had passed on Saturday, they had collected, they had over 200 families, groups, individuals stop by and make donations. A whole lot of new stuff as well. Not just like the ratty stuff that's in your basement that you're happy to get rid of, but people went to the stores and they purchased things and they brought gift cards and money. And there's still a need that's out there. But I was blown away at the good that happened in the community. Over 200 families and groups stepped up in the course of a couple of hours. I mean, isn't that what makes this place special? Isn't that what social media is supposed to be about? Isn't that why we get so excited to be in community, is when we actually do what we're supposed to do? And I was elated to be a catalyst for it. I have a large network, and I have 5,000 Facebook air quote friends. Just people I'm connected with. And the very first donation I got was my buddy David out of Denver, Colorado, and he sent $100. Very first one. And then I had a buddy out of San Diego send me $50, and I was just able to pay that forward to Elam and to help out. And it was such a unique experience to see that people are waiting and wanting an opportunity to do good. People just want an invitation. And when chaos happens, when trauma occurs, people oftentimes sit idly by on their hands, not because they're bad people or disinterested, but instead because they don't know how to help. And it is my call, and it is your call to speak up and to say, I actually need help. This is how you can help. Because the moment we said, this is how you can help, 200 people all across the country plus stepped up in the course of 24 hours. From a Facebook post, gang. Like, people want to help and they don't know how to. Have you ever had that person in your life where, let's say they had a loved one die? And we say things like, my thoughts and my prayers are with you. And thoughts and prayers are a great thing. I'm a guy that believes in God and the power of prayer, but I like to pray with my hands and my feet, and I like to do something with that. This is our chance. Our chance is to actually declare how we need help, because I know it's difficult for those at Elam to declare and say, we need help. But when you ask for help and have the courage, man, do people step up. Now, there's a meme I've seen on Facebook, and it's Chris Rock. I don't know if this quote is attributed to Chris Rock, but the meme I saw is, so we're at least going to say it's Chris Rock's quote. And he says that if my car stalled on the side of the road, I'd sit idly by and wait for someone to come and help, and rarely does anybody ever do so. But if I get out and start pushing my car, people pull over immediately and help out. And isn't that the truth? Like, when we see somebody trying to make it, trying to do good, and you see Elam attempting to rebuild, and their hands are dirty, we are more likely to jump in and to help. Now, I study the love languages with great intensity. The love language book was given to me when I got married, and I didn't read it right away because I'm an idiot. But then I finally read it, and it talks about these different love languages. And there's physical touch, and there's words of affirmation, there's receiving gifts. My favorite is acts of service. And acts of service shows up in a really cool way. An acts of service kind of person is the person who wants to help all the time. That's how they show love. And didn't we see that in our community with this Elam tragedy? People wanted to step up, and so we have to declare, and we have to find a way to say, this is how you can help. And that's my challenge to you right now, is can you find a way to say, this is how I need help? Last story, and then we'll go to break here. My knee was replaced 6.5 weeks ago. It's been a slow process. It's been a painful process, and I've had to ask for help time and time again. But doesn't that make the giver feel great when they can actually help out and do something? And it took my ability to swallow my pride and ask for help to let somebody else step up, and they can actually act out the way in which they like to love. And that's through acts of service. So sometimes it takes some humble pie to ask for help, but I think that's what real strength looks like. So to Elam, I applaud you for having the vulnerability to ask for help and not trying to do it on your own. For those of you that are struggling right now, I encourage you to ask for help. And then when people see you helping yourself as well, they're going to be even more likely to run and to help. And to this community, both local and global, who have stepped up to do great good, thank you. God bless you. You have made a real difference in this world. And with that, we're going to go to break. But in the meantime, head to hatchrealty.com. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.